Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today's story is a deep dive into the absolute absurdity of family entitlement, specifically when it clashes with professional boundaries. I'm talking about the kind of relative who thinks your six-figure career is just a cute little hobby you do in your spare time. Our narrator, Chloe, is a highly successful architect who built her own firm from the ground up. Her sister, Bethany, has always been the golden child, convinced that everyone, especially Chloe, owes her everything. When Bethany decides to purchase a multi-million-dollar fixer-upper, she sees Chloe not as a professional, but as free labor. The arrogance, the insults, and the sheer audacity of her demands set the stage for one of the most satisfying, slow-burn acts of professional revenge I have ever read. Stick around, because the moment that first massive invoice hits Bethany's desk, it's pure gold. Let's get into the details of this architectural catastrophe. My entitled sister demanded I design her $2.5 million dream home renovation for free, called my job Sketchy. I sent her a screenshot of my bank account and replied. My sister, Bethany, has always operated under the firm belief that the world owed her favors. From getting the bigger slice of cake as kids to somehow landing the biggest family inheritance, which, okay, was partly legit, but still, she was the golden child, the queen bee, and everyone else existed to serve her narrative. I, on the other hand, was the artsy one, the dreamer. While she got a stable, boring job in HR, I went to architecture school, endured years of brutal internships, and eventually launched my own boutique firm focusing on high-end residential design. We're good. We're expensive. We have a waitlist that's 6 months deep. But according to Bethany, I'm still just coloring pictures for rich people. The tension between us was always simmering, but it boiled over 3 months ago. Bethany and her husband, Mark, bought a massive house, a gorgeous, historic property that was completely dilapidated. It was $2.5 million just for the purchase price, and it needed another $1 million to $1.5 million in pure renovation work, probably more. It was a money pit, but they had to have the biggest house on the block. The ink on the contracts wasn't even dry before my phone rang. Chloe, darling, guess what? We finally closed on the Northwood house. Bethany's voice was dripping with forced enthusiasm. That's great, Bethany. Congrats, I said, already bracing myself. Yes, and that brings me to you. I've been telling everyone you're going to completely redesign it for us. We need everything, Chloe. Structural, interior, landscape, the full package. We want it done by Christmas, so you need to start drawing immediately. There it was. No, can you please help? No, what's your fee? Just an order. The full package she was describing was easily worth 6 figures in professional design fees. My standard rate for a project of that scope starts at 10% of the construction cost, which meant my fee alone would be about $100,000 to $150,000, not including engineering or consulting fees. Bethany, that sounds like a huge undertaking, I said, keeping my voice neutral. I'm booked solid for the next 7 months, and my retainer for new clients is quite high. I can certainly recommend some incredible firms, but I can't take on this project right now. Silence on the line. Then the true entitlement started to ooze out. Are you serious right now? We're family. You charge family, Chloe? Honestly, I thought you had more class than that, she scoffed. Bethany, this is my business. This isn't a weekend favor. This is 800 hours of detailed work and liability. Oh, please. It's just drawing pretty pictures, Chloe. It's not like you're actually building anything. This is a family discount situation. It would be great for your portfolio, too, I mean, the exposure. Exposure. The classic insult to any creative professional. But then she hit below the belt. Look, we're not asking you to do any actual work like a real engineer or lawyer. Just your little sketches. We need to save money where we can. Mark said we can't afford your sketchy, artsy fees anyway. Honestly, are you even making any real money? We need you to do this for free. It's the least you can do after everything Mom and Dad did for you. That last part, calling my legitimate, profitable business sketchy and questioning my income, hit a nerve. I felt my hands tighten around the phone. I had built this firm from nothing. I had 3 employees who depended on me. I didn't need her pity or her exposure. You know what, Bethany, I said, taking a deep breath. You're absolutely right. I owe you. And I want to help you. She immediately chirped up. Oh, thank goodness. I knew you'd come around. I need the floor plans by next week, and I want to talk about removing that hideous load-bearing wall in the kitchen. Hold on, I cut her off gently. I said I want to help, but I still can't physically take on the design work right now. My schedule is just too demanding. However, I will happily consult for you, free of charge, on choosing the perfect design partner. I can vet their contracts, look over their initial proposals, and make sure you get the absolute best firm for your vision. Think of me as your free, personal design advocate. This was the hook. She loved the idea of a free advocate who would ensure she got the fanciest, most exclusive firm. She didn't realize that in my industry, I knew exactly which firms looked fantastic on paper but were notoriously awful to work with, massively over budget, and had fees that would make her jaw drop. Well, fine. That works, she conceded, clearly disappointed she wouldn't get the labor for free, but thrilled she got a free insider. Just make sure they are very, very good, Chloe. And they have to understand that this is a premium build. I smiled, a real, slow, chilling smile. Oh, I know just the place. I spent the next 2 days crafting the perfect trap. I didn't recommend a bad firm, per se. I recommended the Elysian Group. They specialized in hyper-minimalist, bespoke, structural-heavy renovations. They were known for 2 things. Being ridiculously expensive, their principal architect charges a $20,000 initial concept presentation fee just to show up, and having a tendency to drag out projects by constantly insisting on bespoke, custom solutions that doubled material costs. Crucially, they specialized in the exact kind of unnecessary structural gymnastics Bethany demanded, like removing load-bearing walls and installing gigantic, complex steel beams that weren't strictly necessary but looked minimalist. I presented the Elysian Group to Bethany with rave reviews, highlighting their celebrity clientele and their exorbitant fees as a sign of their exclusivity. Bethany ate it up. Mark, her husband, looked hesitant when he saw the initial retainer, but Bethany shut him down. Chloe says they're the best. We can't afford not to use the best, Mark. It's an investment. I even offered to negotiate the initial consultation fee down, knowing full well the Elysian Group never budged on price, just to make Bethany feel like she was getting a discount she was owed. Over the next few weeks, I played my role as the free design advocate flawlessly. Every time Bethany called me stressed about a decision, I subtly steered her toward the most complex and expensive option. Bethany, the Elysian Group says we need to install a geothermal heating system instead of traditional forced air. It costs $85,000 more. Me, oh, well, forced air is just so basic, Bethany. And you did say you wanted a premium, future-proof home. It's an investment in exclusivity. Bethany, they want to fly in custom Italian marble for the master bath. Is that necessary? Me, of course it is. If you use local marble, it'll look just like every other newly renovated home in the neighborhood. You want to stand out, right? Remember, you can't be sketchy with your materials. I made sure to use her own words against her. She kept approving things. She kept insisting on the most bespoke, complicated, and structurally challenging elements, all while scoffing at my artsy career. Mark was starting to look pale during our consultation calls, but Bethany was too focused on the status of her dream home to notice the financial abyss she was stepping into. The big moment came about a month into the design process. The Elysian Group had finished Phase 1, conceptual design, preliminary structural assessment, and material sourcing estimates. They sent over the invoice for the first 30 days of work, plus the materials deposit. My phone rang at 7 a.m. on a Tuesday. It wasn't a call, it was a hysterical shriek channeled through a cell phone. "Chloe. What is this?" Bethany screamed before I could even say hello. I waited a beat. "Good morning, Bethany. What are you referring to?" "The invoice. The Elysian Group sent us the invoice for Phase 1. It's $185,000. Just for drawings and a deposit on materials. They haven't even broken ground yet. This is highway robbery. You said they were the best." I heard a muted yell in the background, likely Mark. "Well, yes, Bethany. They are the best. That's why they're expensive," I replied calmly. "Did you look at the breakdown? They estimated the cost of that custom-imported glass for the sunroom and the specialized steel beam for the kitchen wall. But $185,000? We haven't even hired the contractor yet. We can't afford this." Mark is freaking out. He says we're already $300,000 over budget just planning the project. That's standard for a premium bespoke renovation, Bethany. You wanted the best. You wanted the exclusion. You can't put a price on that, I said, paraphrasing things she had told me countless times. You knew this would happen. This is your fault. You recommended them. You were supposed to be my advocate. You were supposed to get us a discount. I told you I would vet their proposals, I corrected her gently. I didn't promise to cut their fees. I looked over the Phase 1 report, and frankly, everything seems entirely appropriate for the level of luxury you demanded. That custom marble requires a 50% deposit, and those custom-milled beams aren't cheap. She started sobbing, a raw, ugly sound. "Chloe, please. You have to talk to them. Tell them to take out the geothermal, tell them to use cheap steel, I don't care. We need to stop the bleeding. We're going to lose the house. You're the architect. You have to fix this." I paused, letting the silence hang heavy. This was it. The moment I had been working toward for 2 years of suppressed anger and 3 months of meticulous planning. "You're right, I'm the architect," I said, my voice dropping to a low, cold tone. "And if you had hired me to do the actual design work, my fee would have been $110,000, and I would have delivered a functional, beautiful design for about $1.2 million in construction, not the $2.8 million budget you've somehow ballooned to already. I would have told you that removing that load-bearing wall wasn't worth the cost, and I would have steered you away from materials that will take 9 months to import." "So, why didn't you?" she wailed. "Because you didn't hire me, Bethany. You asked me to work for free. You told me my legitimate, high-paying career was sketchy. You demanded I spend hundreds of hours of my expertise for zero compensation. You said that a real engineer or lawyer would never act this way." I heard Mark grab the phone in the background. His voice was hoarse. "Chloe, please, we're begging you. We'll pay you. Just tell us how to fix this firm's contract before we lose everything. Mark, my retainer to step in and fix another firm's mess is 3 times my normal rate, non-negotiable, and I charge a minimum of $50,000 up front just to look at the paperwork. You were told to hire an architect you trusted, and you chose the one you thought you could manipulate and get for free. I'll send you the money right now, Chloe. Just name the amount. We're desperate." Mark pleaded. "It's not about the money anymore, Mark. This is about respect." I hung up, feeling a wave of exhaustion and cold satisfaction wash over me. The phone immediately started ringing again, my mom, even Dad, who rarely got involved in our drama. I blocked them all temporarily. I sat down at my laptop, took a high-resolution screenshot of my corporate bank account balance, a number that was nearly $500,000 higher than Mark's pre-approved renovation loan, and sent it in a text message to Bethany and Mark. The reply I typed was short, brutal, and final. Asterisk asterisk, the sketches are worth more than your marriage. Maybe next time, you won't call my career sketchy. Good luck with the Elysian group, asterisk asterisk. I hit send and then permanently blocked both of them. The fallout was immediate. My parents, predictably, lost their minds. Mom called every number she had, leaving tearful voicemails about how I was destroying my sister's dream and ruining the family. I let her vent, then called her back the next day when I was calm. I laid out the facts. I had spent years being insulted. I offered professional help which was rejected in favor of free labor, and Bethany had financially backed herself into a corner through her own entitlement and bad judgment, which I had simply declined to bail her out of. I also gently reminded her that my firm was paying for her health care, something she seemed to conveniently forget. That silenced her. Mark and Bethany tried to back out of the Elysian Group contract, but it was too late. The contract I had vetted stipulated that they owed the firm a large percentage of the phase fees, regardless of whether they continued the project, specifically because of the custom sourcing work already undertaken. They ended up paying nearly $200,000 to walk away with nothing but preliminary drawings and a pile of debt. They had to put the house back on the market, listing it as a designer-ready fixer-upper, but the price drop necessary to move the highly specific, structurally challenging property cost them a huge chunk of their down payment. The ultimate irony? The house finally sold 6 months later to one of my own clients, a couple who appreciated the historic bones but knew better than to go with a firm like the Elysian Group. They hired my firm for the renovation. When Bethany saw my firm's name on the permits posted outside the house a week later, I got one final, unhinged text message from a burner number: "You did this on purpose. You stole our house." I didn't reply. I just focused on the beautiful, functional, under-budget design I was creating for my paying clients. The house, finished a year later, was exactly what Bethany had dreamed of, minus the unnecessary structural changes and the price tag that destroyed her finances. She drove by a few times, according to neighbors, and just sat staring at what she couldn't have because she thought I should give my life's work away for free. The ultimate revenge wasn't seeing her fail, but watching her realize that my sketchy career had more financial stability and power than her entire desperate attempt at status. Wow. Chloe proved that entitlement costs, and sometimes, the best revenge is simply letting someone face the natural consequences of their own arrogance. Her final text message in the screenshot of her bank account? Perfection. It truly highlights the difference between those who build their own success and those who expect handouts. What do you guys think? Was Chloe's plan of steering Bethany toward the expensive firm genius, or did she take the revenge too far? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this satisfying story of professional justice, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another video. See you in the next one.